right. Peace and prosperity, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. And today I want to introduce you to this beautiful girl named Mocha. Mocha is a French bulldog, and she is with us for 3 weeks for a basic obedience, basic level 1 obedience, which is pretty much sit, down, come, right? On leash obedience, right? Or what I like to call leash etiquette. And for a little potty training as well, right? So that's what we're doing with this beautiful girl today. So as always, I want to introduce you guys to her by beginning to implement some of the basic obedience commands, right? You have your sit, you have your down. So today we're only going to work on the sit, right? So come along so we can show this little girl how to have some proper manners, how to be obedient, right? So that way when she comes back home, or when she goes back home, you know, that relationship between her and her owners are just it's much more, what's the word? It's much more favorable, right? It's much more easygoing. It's much more enjoying. They can enjoy each other more. The dog can enjoy the owners more, and the owners can enjoy the dog more, right? And that's always my goal, to make that relationship more enjoyable, right? More palatable, right? Less insufferable, less intolerable, right? That is always my goal. All right, so let's get to work, because as you can see, she's a little energy ball, which I love, man. I love the all black. And she's actually, you can't see it on camera, but she actually has brindle tan points, which if you know anything about me, I am very partial to black and tan, because Rottweilers were my first favorite dog, which, again, if you guys know me, I have a Rottweiler named Jaja. But, you know, I'm very impartial to the black and tan and to the all black. So I'm working very hard to not want to steal this dog from her owners. No, I'm just joking. I'm not going to steal her from her owners. That was just a joke, guys. Don't take me serious on that. All right, so let's get to work. Okay, pretty girl. Yes, I got the food, and I know that's what you want, you little tank. This girl's a little tank, man. I'm telling you, she's like literally solid muscle, man. That's one of the things I actually do like about the French Bulldogs. Their structure typically is very good. Typically, you're always going to have bad apples that spoil the bunch. But if you get a decently bred French Bulldog, I mean, they have some great structure, man. That's one of the things I love about the French Bulldogs. All right, cool beans. So let's get to work. All right, come on, mama. Yes, there we go. Come on. There we go. Come on. Let's get to work. Now, mind you, this is her first time doing it, right? So I'm just kind of getting her in motion, right? I'm just kind of getting her in work mode. There you go. Good girl. Yes. Sit. Now, here's the thing about French Bulldogs, right? Anytime you have Bulldog behind the breed, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have some trouble training that dog, right? Because that's what the Bulldogs are named for, right? The name is fitting. They're like bulls, right? They're literally like bulls in China shop. As you can see, this is literally like she's all over the place, right? So getting a bulldog attention is not the easiest thing in the world, right? So we do have to work a little bit harder, right? Her opposition reflex is going to be a little bit more than your average dog. Sit. There we go. And I'm just going to hold it. Right, so I'm using the leash pressure, and all I'm waiting on her to do is put her butt on the ground. Eventually, she's going to put her butt on the ground, because physiology says that his butt so long, I can hold this leash up, right? Which is putting more pressure on her hindquarters before she decides to put that butt on the ground. Now, there's another level that I can go up to entice her or to manipulate her into the position a little faster. But I always like to see if I can do the least to get the most, right? That way I'll always have more room to explore those options if necessary, right? So let's see if we can get her, without taking it to the next level, to do what it is that I want her to do, right? Sit. And I'm just going to hold it. Now, I don't want to hold it too long, because obviously it's putting pressure on her neck, right? But this is a form of communication. Sit, right? What I'm trying to do is get her to look up. There you go, right? Get her attention. There you go, good girl. Yes, the food is there, right? I want her to know that the food is in my hands, so she's looking up. because that, again, physiology, the longer she looks up, the more pressure is going to put on her back end. And then I'm also holding the leash up, right? So that's putting even more pressure on her back end. But these are tough little boogers, man. So it takes a little bit more, it takes a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Manipulation to get them into the position that you want, right? But again, I always want you guys to see this process. That way, when you see the end product, you know what it took to get there, right? So I'm going to try this a little bit longer, and then we're going to take it to the next level. Good girl. There you go. Right before I was about to give up, she put her butt on the ground, right? Now, what I'm doing right now in this process, that's literally the first time she's did that, right? So we're going to keep doing that, right? We're going to do that over and over and over and over and over and over and over until she gets to the point where I don't have to use the leash pressure. I can just lift my hand up and she's gonna sit, right? That is the succession of how this works, right? This is why it takes so much time if you're doing it correctly. Now, I can force her to sit down and she'll do it faster, but for her mental, it won't be the best way to do that, right? So we'll always have to take into consideration the mentality of the dog, right? So keep that in mind. Sit. All I'm looking for is for her to put her butt on the ground. As soon as she puts her butt on the ground, I'm going to release the pressure, and then I'm going to give her the food. Sit. Now, the word sit doesn't mean anything to her right now. I'm shaping the behavior, which means when I say sit, I pull up on the leash a little bit more so she begins to make the correlation like, oh, when he says sit, he wants my butt to go on the ground. And if I don't sit, good girl, that's a good girl. If I don't sit, then more pressure is going to come, right? So I want her to begin to make that correlation. So me saying sit right now doesn't necessarily hold any weight. I'm only shaping the behavior in the beginning, right? Good girl. There we go. Yes, that's a good girl. There we go. Sit. All I'm looking for is for every time that we do this, she does it faster, which means she's picking up the concept of what I'm asking her to do. Sit. So every time I say sit, I lift my hand and I apply a little bit more pressure. Sit. Good girl. That's a good girl. Yes. And got to make sure you praise when they actually perform the behavior you're looking for, because again, that's a form of communication. If I only apply pressure, right, and then when they perform the behavior you're looking to perform, I don't communicate with her, thank you for doing that, then eventually she's going to be like, well, shucks, man, you don't put all this pressure on me, but what did I get out of it at the end? You got your sit at the end, but what did I get? I didn't get no love, I didn't get no food, I didn't get nothing, right? So you got to make sure you reward the dog once they do the behavior that you're asking them to do, right? Sit. Sit. Good girls. You can see she's doing it faster and faster. This is all I'm asking her to do, right? I just want her to begin to understand the concept. Good girl. That's a good girl. Yes, that's a good girl. I know, pretty lady. You're a pretty lady. You're a pretty lady. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're a pretty lady too. But we already did our training today. Stop being jealous. I'm talking to Nala here. Good girl. Yes, I know. That's a good girl. Yes. All right. Back here. Let's get back to work. Sit. Hold it for a while. Sit. Good girl. That's a good girl. Yes. That's a good girl. Oh, yeah. That's a good girl. Beautiful. That's a good girl. Yes, you are. Hey. That's enough. Stop being rude, Nala. All right. Now she wants to sit automatically. Go get it. Good girl. Mocha, sit. Good girls. You can see it's getting faster and faster. So look, folks, as always, this is what we do all day, every day. Reach out anytime with any questions. Leave them in the comments. If you have not done so far, make sure you like this video for the YouTube algorithm. It doesn't cost you anything. Just go ahead and hit that little thumbs up button right now while you're on the video. Even if you don't like the video, hit the thumbs down video. It doesn't matter to me. Just do something, right? It doesn't cost you anything. You're already here. You might as well help me out by hitting the like or the unlike, right? Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so far. Make sure you share this video, and then whoever you share the video with, tell them to subscribe to the channel. And as always, until the next video, you are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. Stay safe, better yet, stay dangerous. Peace and prosperity. That's a good girl. Go get it. Sit. Good girl. That's a good girl. Yes, you are. That's a good girl, Miss Mocha. Yeah, pretty girl. Pretty girl. You's a smart girl. You's a smart girl. Yes, you are. Yeah. Yeah. You little smush face. You little smush face. You little smush face. Yep. 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 Good girl. All right. Good girl. Yes. Go get it. Mocha, sit. Right here. Sit. Good girl. Yes. That's a good girl.